Start with the name of Allah, who is most beneficent and merciful. My name is Sanjay Kumar, lecturer in Zoology, Government Boys Degree College, SUKKUR. We are going to study first year biology, chapter 13, gaseous exchange. The most important question coming in the exams is the human respiratory system. So we are studying today human respiratory system. First of all, the brief contents. Here we study the definition and brief introduction, compare respiration and breathing, human respiratory system in detail, which includes organ in the respiration system, air passageway and the lungs. Another question related with the human respiratory system coming in exams is mechanism of breath, and finally a short exercise for you. So first definition, human respiratory system is the organ system that involve inhaling of oxygen and exhaling of carbon dioxide to meet the energy requirement. ह्यूमन रेस्पिरेटरी सिस्टम एक ऐसा सिस्टम है जिसके अंदर हम ऑक्सीजन को इनहेल करेंगे और कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड को एक्सहेल करेंगे, बाहर निकालेंगे। क्यों? क्योंकि एनर्जी रिक्वायरमेंट हमें जरूरी चाहिए। एक्सटर्नल रेस्पिरेशन एंड इंटरनल रेस्पिरेशन आर टू टाइप्स ऑफ respiration in humans. So external respiration, the exchange of gases between environment and the body is known as external respiration, while internal respiration is the exchange of gases at the cellular level between blood and the cell. So external respiration क्या है? जिसमें हम exchange of gases करेंगे from environment से body तक, और फ्रॉम बॉडी के अंदर जब ब्लड और सेल की दरमियान जो एक्सचेंज गैसेस हो रही है, ऑक्सीजन हो रही है, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड टेक ऑफ हो रही है, इसे हम बोलेंगे इंटरनल रेस्पिरेशन। Sometimes short questions asked in exams, what is the difference between respiration and breathing? So we also here to study a difference, compare a difference between respiration and breathing. Respiration is a chemical process where oxygen is used to break down glucose to release energy, which energy used up in our body. While breathing is a physical process in which inhaling of oxygen and exhaling of carbon dioxide in and out with the help of lungs. रेस्पिरेशन क्या है? एक ऐसा प्रोसेस है जिसके अंदर केमिकल प्रोसेस है जिसमें ऑक्सीजन की मदद से ग्लूकोज को ब्रेक किया जा रहा है। ग्लूकोज कहाँ पर ब्रेक होगा? सेल के अंदर होगा, इनसाइड द माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया। इनसाइड द माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया ऑक्सीजन की मदद से ग्लूकोज ब्रेक होगा और एनर्जी प्रोड्यूस होगी इन द फॉर्म ऑफ एटीपी। जबकि ब्रीथिंग जो है वो जस्ट एन एक्सचेंज है, एक्सचेंज है इन्वायरमेंट से गैसेस का, नॉन एज ब्रीथिंग। So main topic, human respiratory system. As words written here, system, you have already heard about the word system. System means collection of organs which are performing a similar function is known as system. Human respiratory system consists of group of organs and the tissues which help us to breathe. Lungs are the primary respiratory organ, and it also includes other organs like air passageway, blood vessels and muscles. Here what is mean by air passageway? The area starting from the nose to the trachea, and then after it, trachea divided into branches. From nose to the branches, that area is known as air passageway. And the muscles, muscle means diaphragm, which is separating the cavity of thoracic cavity and abdominal. This muscles and the muscles which is present between ribs, helping us to breathe easily. And blood vessels help us to transport the gases from respiratory surface to other parts where the oxygen is needed. For example, carrying oxygen towards our hands, feet and other parts. There are two. We are studying the human respiratory system in two steps or two stages: air passageway and the lungs. Here is the list of organs in the respiratory system, starting from the external nostrils to the nasal chamber, from nasal chamber to pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, and alveoli, lungs. I have written these for you because you are going to stop the video and write down on your copy, which help you to study in the exams. We are later on study each of these parts in this video. So first, the respiratory tract. Respiratory tract is the passageway from starting from the nose up to the alveoli is known as air passageway. It started from the external nostrils and then air leads into nasal chamber to pharynx, from pharynx to larynx. From larynx it goes to epiglottis to the trachea. Now trachea divides into the left and right, goes to the left right lungs as a separate branch which is known as a bronchi. Bronchi inside the lungs further divide into fine branches known as bronchioles. The end of bronchioles is having a sac or muscular bag-like structure known as alveoli, where the actual gaseous exchange takes place. So alveoli is a respiratory surface. Starting from first part of air passageway is nose. Nose is the only visible part of respiratory system. Air is drawn from the environment into our body with the help of nose. Nose open, air enters by the external nares, and inside the nares there is a nasal cavity. The nasal cavity has hairs, mucus cells, and highly richly supplied blood vessels, which help us to maintain the air condition. For example, hair is used for the cleaning out the dust particles and microorganisms. Mucous membrane is used for the air conditioning, and the sensory cell is used for the sense of smell. So mucous membrane, how mucous membrane is maintaining the condition of air. Mucous membrane is richly supplied with the blood. When we inhale air in winter condition, the temperature of air is cold or low. So they warm up the dry and cold air with the blood supplied to the mucus. And same in case of summer, when the warm air is coming in our nose, the mucus become have large amount of water also. It converts the water molecules into the separated molecules and cool down the temperature of air. So in both condition, winter and summer, the air is maintained by air conditioning. So next is the pharynx, which is common known as throat. Pharynx is a common opening for air and food. You only just to remember up to that the pharynx is a common opening for air and food is known as pharynx. But for deeper knowledge, I have written there are three area of pharynx. One is the nasopharynx, oropharynx, and the laryngopharynx. Nasopharynx is the opening of nasal cavity, and oropharynx is the opening of buccal cavity, and laryngopharynx is the last portion of pharynx before the larynx, or the upper portion of the uh, larynx is known as laryngopharynx. As you see in the figure, this is the nasal cavity and air goes to the that area, bluish area is known as pharynx. Here we have written a hyoid bone. Bone is which support our tongue is known as hyoid bone, which is not related in this topic. Larynx. Larynx is sometimes called a voice box or sound box. Larynx is the uppermost portion is known as larynx. As this shows a larynx, and this larynx, when we see in cross section, there is a two pair of fibrous band known as vocal cord. These vocal cords, when vibrates, a sound is produced. Therefore, is known as voice box or sound box. Sometimes MCUs coming in the exam say which is the sound box of human is larynx. So this is the in open position and the closed position. Trachea. Trachea is known as windpipe. A trachea is a tube which is coming from the larynx up to the bronchi, and these trachea has supported by C-shaped cartilage. As you see in the animated figure, the C-shaped cartilage is supporting the windpipe. Why it is C-shaped? Because in order to prevent the tube of trachea to collapse होने से उनको बचाती है सी शेप. अब पीछे से ये पूरा गोल जीरो क्यों नहीं, क्योंकि पीछे से इनको vertebral column से support मिलती है. Trachea also have line with the cilia and the mucus cells. As you see in this figure, there is a cilia hair-like structure, and yellowish fluid is present, which is known as mucus. These mucus and small hair-like structure, cilia. Beating of cilia, if if anyhow the dust particle or microorganism coming in our trachea, then these beating of with the help of beating of cilia, they propel or expel the dust particle up to the throat, and from throat we spit out or it goes into the digestive tract. So in this way, the air goes into the lungs is free from the dust and microorganism. Bronchi and bronchioles, the trachea divided into two, left and right bronchi, and bronchi is divide again and again into network of smaller branches is known as bronchioles, which end up into the alveolar sac. This figure is helping us to understand this is the trachea, which is divided left and right is a bronchi or bronchus, and then this bronchus is further divided into the branches, and this branch again divided and make the larger tree-like arrangement. Why they are becomes divided? Because in order to increase the surface area. One of the property of respiratory surface is there, they have larger surface area in relation to its volume. As you see, the number trachea is 1, bronchi is 2, and bronchi are further divided into 60,000 branches, and their respiratory bronchioles are about 5 lakhs and alveoli are 8 million. It means there is a large surface area for exchange of gases. Lungs are the primary respiratory organs. They are present in our thoracic cavity and supported by the ribs. This is the figure of lungs. This is the right lung and this is the left lung. This is the right and this left lung. Left lung has 2 lobes, 1 and 2, while right lung has 1, 2 and 3 lobes. Each lung is surrounded by a layer is known as pleural membrane. Between lungs and pleural membrane there is a fluid present known as pleural fluid, which prevents it from friction and gives lubrication while when we are breathing. And there is a strip of muscles which is present at the base of the lungs is known as diaphragm. This diaphragm is separating the thoracic cavity and abdominal cavity. And lastly, the ribs which is surrounding the lungs has also a muscles known as intercostal muscles, which also helping us to the breathing. Alveoli, the actual respiratory surface, it is thin, moist and wet and has larger surface area. 8 million alveoli are present. Inside the alveoli, there is a chemical known as surfactant which prevent it the alveoli from collapse. We are going to see its structure. This is known as bronchial, and this bronchial are end up at the balloon or small sac-like structure known as alveolar sac. This alveolar is surrounded by blue and red color blood capillaries which supplying the blood. Why this is supplying the blood? Because blue blood vessel shows a deoxygenated blood and red shows the oxygenated blood. While when we are breathing, जब हम सांस लेते हैं उस एयर में ऑक्सीजन ज्यादा होती है, और जब हम बाहर एयर निकालते हैं उसमें कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड ज्यादा होती है. क्यों? क्योंकि वो एक्सचेंज हो जाती है. कहाँ पर हो रही है? अल्वेओलाई के अंदर. जो ब्लड सप्लाई हो रहा है ब्लड हार्ट से, वो डीऑक्सीजनेटेड है और वो यहाँ पर अल्वेओलाई के दरमियान वो एक्सचेंज हो रही है गैसेस, और ऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड होकर हमारी बॉडी के अंदर जा रहा है. सो दिस शोज लिटिल एनिमेशन व्हिच हेल्प you to understand easily exchange of gases. Here arrow shows enlargement of alveoli. A blue dot shows how oxygen molecule goes into the blood vessels and carbon dioxide goes outside. Here the completion of respiratory system. Now we are going to start mechanism of breathing. Mechanism of breathing means The inhaling of oxygen and exhaling of carbon dioxide is known as the mechanism of breathing. It involves two steps in inspiration and expiration. In this figure, as you see, the inspiration means taking air in and expiration means taking air out. In both conditions, there is very important role of rib diaphragms and intercostal muscles. In case of inhalation, in which air draw into the lungs, how this happen? Diaphragm and the intercostal muscles contract, which causes increased thoracic volume and decreased pressure, which result air draw into the lungs. As the muscles are contract, so inhalation is an active process, while in case of exhalation, the diaphragm and intercostal muscles are relaxed, which causes decreased thoracic volume and increased pressures, which causes air expel out from our body. And in case though in this exhalation, muscles are relaxed, so this is a passive process. As this figure shows, the when the muscle inhalation, the diaphragm becomes flat and our rib cage becomes move outward and upward, while in case of exhalation, the muscles are relaxed and diaphragm become in inhalation flat and in exhalation become dome shape, and the rib cage move inward and downward. This little animation shows which helping you to understand how inhalation and exhalation working while in movement of rib cage and the diaphragm. Little exercise for you. In human, the gaseous exchange take place by ह्यूमन के अंदर गैसेस एक्सचेंज कैसे होती है, हम सबको पता है कि अल्वियोलाई किसे होती है, ठीक है। और इन केस ऑफ व्हाट इज द रूट ऑफ एयर व्हेन वी आर इनहेलिंग, जब हम एयर इनहेल करते हैं तो क्या रूट होता है, नोज, नोस्ट्रल्स, फेरेंक्स, लेरेंक्स, ट्रेकिया, अल्वियोलाई। तो हमारे यहाँ पर क्या जवाब होगा, डी, नोस्ट्रल्स, फेरेंक्स, लेरेंक्स, ट्रेकिया। ये काफी एक दो मरतबा एमबीबीएस के एग्जाम्स में भी पूछा गया है कि रूट ऑफ इनहेलेशन और एक्सहेलेशन। नेक्स्ट इज द साउंड प्रोडक्शन ऑर्गन। हमें आपको याद होगा साउंड कौन प्रोड्यूस करता है हमारी बॉडी के अंदर, वेरी गुड, लेरिंक्स व्हिच इज साउंड बॉक्स और वॉइस बॉक्स। इंटरकोस्टल मसल रेगुलेट द मूवमेंट ऑफ, इंटरकोस्टल मसल्स क्या होते हैं, those muscles which are present between the ribs is known as intercostal muscle। रिब्स के दरमियान होते हैं तो मूवमेंट किसकी कराएंगे, रिब्स की कराएंगे, गुड। द पल्मोनरी रेस्पिरेटरी फाउंड, पल्मोनरी रेस्पिरेशन किसे बोलते हैं, वो रेस्पिरेशन जो लंग्स की मदद से हो उसे पल्मोनरी रेस्पिरेशन बोलते हैं। वो किसमें है, डेफिनेटली इन ह्यूमन, गुड, वेरी गुड, थैंक यू। इफ यू हैव एनी क्वेश्चन प्लीज कमेंट्स मी, थैंक यू वेरी मच।